Okay, welcome back, and this should be the last video in this playlist tutorial series. So now we're going to set the background color, which I actually already did, but you come here to your scene, you right mouse click in an open area, scene properties, and then go ahead and choose a color. And there we go. All right, so now we're going to get into the score. So we're going to create a new object, and it's going to be a text object, of course. And we're going to go ahead and call it score, and I'll go ahead and I'll follow what they show here. You, of course, can go ahead and make any changes you want. Make it bold. I don't like how the color picker, you have to click back on the color picker to make sure it actually goes away. Okay, I'll click apply. I think the score size is a little bit too small. Okay, so they're giving you advice on where to place the score. You, of course, can go ahead and place it wherever you want. Just general advice is you want it to be seen, of course, right? So if I put it over this lighter color green, it's a little bit tougher to see. So maybe I would go in and make it just a darker color. I'll try black. And now you can see it just pops on the screen a little bit more. So just some general color advice. Okay, so now we're getting into how to actually make this text show a number. And so this is pretty important. So we have to connect it to a variable so that it can show that data. Okay, so to be able to do this score, the player is going to get a higher score when they pass by any of the traffic. It also looks like every time they pass a tree, the score is also going to increase. So we're going to click on, this is the first time that we've done this. We're going to click on this icon here. So I'm going to make a new comment section. I'm going to add a new comment, and this is going to be called score. And I'm going to go ahead and place this down here. Okay, and then we're going to click on this one here, and we're going to choose for each object. And you'll see that now it appears underneath my score comment. So click to choose for which objects this event will be repeated. And they're saying to add traffic to that. So you're going to click on this phrase right here, click to choose which objects this event will be repeated, and we're going to go ahead and choose traffic. Okay, so now traffic goes into the condition, repeat for each traffic object. And now we need to go ahead and actually connect it with a variable. So we're going to compare the Y position, the up and down position of an object. And so we're going to do this with a condition. So we're going to say add condition, and we're going to go ahead and say compare. We're going to search compare, and we're going to compare the Y position of traffic. So choose traffic. The operator is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. And we're going to choose 700. Again, that's what the tutorial is saying. We'll see if that's correct. Okay, and we'll go ahead and save. Okay, so the action is what's actually going to change the variable, which will then give the player a higher score. So we're going to need to go ahead and create a new variable. Okay, so we're comparing the Y position of the car to the traffic to know when the car passes by the traffic. So this next step right here might give some people some trouble. we basically have to create a brand new scene variable called points. And so if you remember earlier on in the tutorial, you have to go back here to the scene, right mouse click in an open area, and go to scene properties. And that's what allows you to go here to scene variables. We can now click on the plus button, and we can now create one called points. There we go. And we're not giving it a value, so we're just creating it. Hit apply and go back to our events. Okay, so now we can go ahead and change the value of a scene variable. So we're going to do that for this score. We're going to add an action, and we're going to go ahead and type in variable. And we're going to, there are a couple different ones in here, but we want the we want the value of a scene variable. That's really important. So let's see, value of a scene variable. So make sure you look for that. And the scene variable is, of course, points, right? And we want it to be add, and we're going to say 100 points. We're going to say add, and we'll say 100. Now, if you want to change the point value later on, great, go for it. Okay, and I'll save. Okay, moving on. Now what we need to do is, it should be working. If we've done everything correctly and the tutorial is correct, it should be working. But now we need to send this value, as you can see right here, send this value to our score text object. Okay, so this is going to be an action called modify the text. So I'm going to go ahead and say add action, and we'll just go ahead and search modify. Modify the text. There we go. It's score, since that's our only one. And we're going to say equals 2, or equal set 2. And then this is the really important part. It's got to be typed in exactly like this. And so if you're watching this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and just try selecting all of the text here and copying it and pasting it in and seeing if that will work. There we go. It doesn't seem to like that. Let's find out why. Okay, so unfortunately in the tutorial it puts in some extra quotes here that I don't need. So really what I need is I need to get rid of this double quotes here, my bad, and I need to get rid of this quotes on the end here, and we should be okay with that. Okay, so it's strange. It was showing that it was red, making me think there was a problem here, but this is correct. Let me put a space back in there. Okay, so there should be a space in between the colon and the end quote. I'm going to click on OK, even though it shows a red error, and let's see how that works. Okay, so sorry about that. What I discovered is that you can't copy and paste in there, right, for the text. You actually have to manually type it in. There seems to be a problem with typing it in. So the tutorial is correct. You have to put in this information here, minus these quotes, just like in the screenshot shown here, but you have to type it in. That seems kind of silly, but it now works. So if I go ahead and press play, you'll see I have a score, and let's see how that operates. Okay, and so you'll see that the score operates just fine. I'm going to go ahead and move it, but now you'll notice that when I crash, the score continues and is not working properly, so we'll move on. Okay, so to fix that, we're going to go ahead and delete the object called traffic. And so we're going to go over here and right here under the adding of the points, we're going to add an action. And again, it's going to be delete object, and it's going to be traffic. There we go. Okay, we'll save. Go ahead and preview. Okay, so now we gain the traffic, And when we die, you can see that the score stays the same. And I'm going to go ahead and just move my score over a little bit. Okay, so now they're saying that if you play the game, the score will keep updating itself even after the collision between the car and the traffic takes place. And so we're going to add another condition that's going to change the visibility and check and see if the car is viewable. So we're going to come right over here. We're going to add a second condition. And let's try typing in the search term visible. Nope, didn't like that. Let's see, visibility. Okay, so it's visibility of an object, and it's going to be red car. Okay, so it's checking to see if the object is visible. So if the traffic is in the right position and the car is visible, it's then going to go ahead and do this here. So let's go ahead and test. You can see our score all right. Okay, so now we're getting 100 points for every car we pass. And then if we go ahead and crash, you'll see that the car disappears and the score is not updating itself. So that seems to be working pretty well. And we'll go ahead and save. Okay, so now to optimize the game, we're basically going to be removing trees so that they don't take up the game's, your device's memory. Your phone, if you were to export this to the phone or to your web browser or something like that. So basically what we want it to do is for every tree object, if the tree goes past a certain position, we're going to then delete the tree. Otherwise, GDevelop has to actually remember about all of the trees. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something similar to what we did with the traffic. So we're going to click on this button here, and we're going to say for each object, and we're going to choose the tree. So for each tree object, and we're going to check the Y position of the tree. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy from up here and paste, except it's not for traffic, it's for the tree, for the trees. And there we go, tree. And they want it to be greater than or equal to 700, so we can keep that the same. And then we want the action to be to delete the object of tree. So again, I'm going to copy, paste, change the object, and put it as tree. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you might not actually see this happening, this event happening, because it's off screen, but it should make your game run smoother. And I have this event here inside underneath my score commentary, which it's not the best organization, but it should be okay. All right, so at the end of this tutorial, the nice thing is that they give you all of the code here, it looks like, for basically the entire thing. And that is it. Congratulations. We'll go ahead and preview this one last time. This is it. This should be your finished game. Of course, while I'm demoing it, I go ahead and die very easily. Maybe I'm tired. Okay. So the score is going. We've got traffic there. So you can go ahead and modify things. For instance, I've seen some students that made it so that your car could actually speed up if you press the up arrow, and you can actually decelerate if you press the down arrow. So one of my students named Fabian gave me that idea, and I think that's a really cool and realistic addition that you could do. So that way you can make the game a little bit more exciting. All right, I hope this playlist helps you out, and good luck to you in all of your GDevelop adventures.